everybody. Good morning from here. And today we are back on another episode of my podcast. And today we have in the house the mind architect, Rachna. And she has been handling her Instagram and she has been working in the same domain. She actually has catered to a lot of guests from a niche and she has been guiding individuals talking about mindset. So today, when we actually have a lot of issues regarding mental health and well-being, it's very important and crucial to talk about how do you actually take care of it. So the approaches, challenges, how to learn, and how to achieve success. A growth mindset is important, which is emphasizing on the belief that the abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, and particularly benefits in navigating your responsibilities, your complexities, uncertainties in the modern life. So I'm truly honored to have you on the show, ma'am. And let's talk about how you can guide us being an architect in this domain. You have been serving since long, so we have a few questions from the audience that we could cater to you. So at least you can guide us how to ultimately be mindful and how to take care of our mental well-being. So
Sure, sure.
that I would request you to brief a few lines about yourself, so at least the audience knows you better.
Yeah. So, hello, thank you for inviting me on this podcast, Arti. And hello, everyone. I'm Rachna and connecting from Delhi. I'm an inner leadership mentor, psychologist, author, and thought leader, popularly known as the mind architect. And why mind architect? Because it took me a lot of time to reach to this place. The why the mind architect? Because I'm not pouring in what the people are already holding it. Rather, I'm trying to unfold their beliefs. I'm trying to help them understanding their emotional wellness space in a much better way, and so that they can hold themselves together, so that they can hold their emotions and feelings and navigate through their different kinds of challenges. So I'm actually guiding them so that they can navigate through different kinds of challenges, especially in the emotional wellness space. It's
That's
been
very
five
important,
years.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we appreciate you. Have been doing amazing so far, and that is why you're on the platform today. So let's just see how you can guide our audience, so at least they benefit from your
Yes.
expertise. So the first
Yes.
question that I want to ask you is about your journey. So your journey into becoming the mind architect is what you call yourself, is unique and inspiring. So what personal or professional turning points led to this journey, to this path, and you realize you had that inner leadership and emotional healing from your perspective? If you could just brief us about that.
Yes, yes. So, Aarti, I came from a teaching background. So this is my second profession.
Okay.
I was a yeah, I was a PGT commerce, so it was completely different domain. I was working as in the central school in a small state of Rajasthan, Bikaner, and I spent more than a decade over there. And one day I realized that this is not my calling. I have a sole purpose, and that was the moment, that was the point where that those moments I realized that I have some soul purpose, and that was the awakening time for me. And I realized, if I look back to my school time or college time, I used to read lot of psychology books. So if I say that I would have done the graduation in the from I'm an SRCC alumnus. So I've done SRCC graduation become honors from there, and a non informal graduation in psychology myself. So I was studying a lot of psychology. So I was able to not just to read the mind, but I can actually scan the person. So I had that
Wow.
much capacities though in those days. And also teaching was something that we had to guide students as well. So the role of counselor was always there for the teacher. And especially for the KVS students, I say that those students live their parents live in have their postings in the border areas. So they were living alone. So counseling them and educating them and motivating them to have a different routines, have a different kind of mindset, have their routine, have to maintain their, at least have the breakfast, maintain the whole day routine. So that was the part of counseling I was already doing. And one day when I realized it, I left the job or came back. And then after that, I started searching for what I can do in the online segment, because if there is a purpose, there is a purpose with the mission as well, that I want to serve. So purpose was to serve everyone, especially in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where the approach is not there, where the facilities was not there. So I started, it's been 5 years now. I started from 2019. I launched it on my birthday. And then I went through under different kinds of mentorship from Siddharth Rajshekhar, from Vishen Lakhani, from Avi Arya, and finally ending up with Ron Malhotra. I've learned a lot. I set up my business, I set up my website, and now handling my all channels myself. So that was my beautiful journey, and a beautiful transition. And I feel that my soul is fulfilled now that I'm helping people. And another challenge was that the moment on I launched my website on International Women's Day on 8th of March, and on 21st lockdown started. So that was another challenge. What I did, and in those days ads were stopped. We were not able to use the word stress, anxiety, all those were we were not able to use. So what I did, I spent money, and I served I did 500 free counselings, and from there work started. Yes, I spent a lot of time on that. Then I developed a digital course that worked well. Then I moved to this one-to-one segment. So after serving for 4 years completely in the one-to-one segment, I moved to the offline one, on the clients requirements that now we want to meet offline, enough of with the online now. So from last 1 year also I'm in the working as offline as well. So online and offline both counseling sessions.
Wow, that's amazing. Actually, it's very, it's very touching because something if somebody is doing for social cause is very important, especially nowadays when we're having a lot of issues like mental illness, and then there's a term coming, mental well-being, what we can do for it. So yeah, it's
Yes,
very impressive, and yeah, and then you mentioned that you could scan somebody and understand how the person is, the personality. So I'll actually use that chance and ask you about myself by the end of the podcast if you're okay about that.
yes,
But
yes,
let's just
sure,
let's
sure.
just move to the next question. So the next question is that
Yes.
as you have informed us that you have been extensively working in this area, so with the high functioning professionals, women, and the adults, what recurring emotional challenges do you see in these groups, and how do you feel that the mindfulness and the expressive arts will help in navigating them?
Yes. So first of all, there are a variety of segments. First of all, if we talk about the high end professionals, there is a silence. People see, we can see that there's everything is okay outside, but there's a lot of emotional battles they feel inside. Then there's inner chaos. There's a pressure of deadlines, but there's pressure emails coming in, and there's a lot of pressures to complete work on time, and there's also balancing in work and life balance. So everything is on challenge, everything that's very challenging. And for the females, for the working professionals, work life balance, they move from one home to another home, and then they have to sacrifice their work for some time, and in that framework they become people pleaser. They masks, they try to say that yes they are okay, but they are actually in the form they start suppressing their emotions and feelings, and start sacrificing their own well-being and everything for their family. And after 10 years they realize that they have done a lot, now they want to get back. And then there is another challenge because there is a time lag now. There is a 5 years gap and a 10 years gap, and but still I love that girls are still thriving and coming through and coming back, especially in 40s. Like I started my second profession in my 40s. Today I'm 47. So I started. So yes, girls are coming up, and it's amazing to see that. And for the young adults, like identity diffusion, and there is a lot of digital media impact. They want to earn more in a lesser span of time, but they don't see that the people who are showing up, they're and they are saying that they are earning this much, how much hard work they have done for so many years. They have sleepless nights, they have different kinds of mentorings, they have done a lot of work, and after that all that hard work they are able to see. So young generation is not watching that, they're just illusioned by that. So that's the another challenge they have. So they want to have everything with less efforts, with less expertise, which is not possible. So these are some of the challenges. And how mindfulness and expressive art can help is, mindfulness is basically coming in the present moment. These are the simple mindfulness activities. If we go back to the previous time, the morning prayers we used to do at home, pujas and all that, especially in our Indian culture context, if we talk about, and also through in other cultures as well. And also we used to go to temples, we used to listen to some mantras and all that. So these were part of mindfulness actually. Now we are reframing the terms, and when we are using it, the first question is, people are not living in the present moment. Either they are living in the past or they are living in the future, and it's happening every day. So mindfulness activities are needed nowadays more on everyday basis, because of betrayals and hurt in the first love especially, and job loss, death of a loved one. These some of the traumatic things which put people keep them in the past. And that's why mindfulness is needed. And sometimes people are more futuristic, they think more about the future. Overthinking is another epidemic spreading on, so that's why they have to come back to the present moment. So all the mindfulness activities are designed and guided that even if you hold something, even if you hold a piece of stone, that bring your consciousness back in the present moment. And that's how it works. So I have designed more than 100 mindfulness activities which can help, which helps people in different ways. And when it comes to the expressive art, I'm UNESCO licensed expressive art therapist. Why I use a combination. I use traditional counseling and a mix of expressive art. So expressive art has basically four modalities: visual arts, listening, right, music, then dance movements, and writing. So these are the four modalities of expressive art. So we use a combination of that. So these are individualized. Some people like music, some people like writing. So for the releasing, you might have heard about journaling. So journaling is write what you are feeling in that moment. But I have designed more than 500 prompts which can help people in understanding what and how they are going through, and that helps them understanding their own feelings, how they are feeling. And once they are clear, they are actually able to have an emotional resilience. First comes the resilience, then comes the intelligence. So this is how the all entire art therapy works.
That's nice. That's amazing, actually. So I have a question on this. So actually, so when you talk about mindfulness and mindset, do you actually talk about manifestation also? Because we have been hearing this term very frequently nowadays on social media.
Yes, yes,
And do you think it actually works?
yes. It works. It works. I have tried and tested it as well. When I was doing my B.Ed in 1999, I wrote in my notebook, which was my first manifestation notebook, that I want to join as a PGT Commerce, because that was my dream job. It was a transferable job. I love traveling, so it was a transferable job. So it was my dream job, and I got it in 2009 after 10 years. But the break was long because of my marriage. My career started late, and I was also had to complete my MCom. So I completed two masters, double masters. I'm a double MA after my marriage, after my two children. So that was challenging for me. So I got it. And another example I want to share, that my son, I used to watch songs of Backstreet Boys. So the one of the boy, out of five group, a group of five, one boy has brown hair. So I used to manifest that my son should have this kind of hairs. So actually he has. So
Right,
those were the things, manifestations, and these comes with very clear intentions and purities.
right, right.
First comes the affirmations that you actually want, and when you are wanting something, please do remove all the negativities. If you have the thought that it will not work, it will not work. But if you have one positive thought that it will work, and you just write it, and it may take time. For me, it took 10 years. For another thing, it took 1.5 years. But yes, I got it. So it definitely works.
Oh, that's amazing. So actually, is it because I heard it's actually a part of the neural network. So the network actually, when you talk about the same thing again and again, ultimately the universe try to give you the
Yes,
same thing because they assume that you're trying
yes,
to attract this thing, right? But the point is it
yes.
only about writing? The way you told us, it's you writing in the diaries or something. So even if
Yes,
without writing, you can
no,
still
it
think about
goes
it,
in
right?
it goes in a 3D direction. It goes in a 3D direction. How it goes in a 3D direction? So I give you an example that if a marriage is coming in our family, so immediately we think of that we want to wear this dress with this dress, this color, this outfit, this designer, this jewelry, and actually immediately we start visualizing it, and then we are satisfied and happy that we will look like this. And then what we do, our actions follows what we have already thought of, and this is
Right.
what we have to do. So visualization is not something that people are not doing. Actually they are doing it in various ways. So when it comes to manifestations, start thinking about it, that you have actually achieved it. Start writing it. There is a 3-6-9 technique also, that you write it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times in the night before sleep, right? So what happens that when you write it, even for from 1 day, 7 day, 11 days, keep that framework. You have to write it as many times as you can. What's going on with the writing, that it's going in the subconscious mind. And when it's going in the subconscious mind, the belief system is actually started believing it. And once it is believed in the mind, in the subconscious mind, it turns into reality in the metaphysical world. Sometimes we say that we thought of it and it happened. Though when you thought of it, actually you put in a lot of intentions into that. And how we have to do it, I just want to give an advice on that also. That when we go to a restaurant, we order food. We don't say, give me some food. We order that we want this butter chicken, this naan, this rice, this drink with this thing. So we are very specific. So when you are sending some vibrations to the universe or to the higher self, please write it as specifically you want. If you want a job, just write it specifically that what kind of job you want, at which level, at what kind of salary you want. If you want to buy a home, in which locality, what price, what are you thinking about it? So do that mental work and write it in one statement. Otherwise,
Yes.
universe will get confused.
Yeah, so with the same point, actually, I was thinking that if somebody, they have too many like dilemmas, and then they're thinking of or too many wishes. Can you actually still write too many wishes at the same time?
Yes,
Only
for,
one.
but at a time, what we advise that for at a time, pick one, write it for 21 days to 90 days, and
Okay.
keep it in the and just send these vibrations in the universe. If you are committed, if you are doing some hard work, if you are consistent, if you are building something, definitely things will come to you. It may take time, sometimes from 1 week, 1 month, and or maybe a year, 2 year, but yes, it will happen. But you
Wow.
have to have some patience.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so that's very nice actually. You have motivated me also to try this, and then of course the audience who was watching us. Because if I recall one incident,
Definitely.
I was that time there was no, because I was very young. I now if I go back and think about that, I used to write doctor in front of my name when I was like 9 or 10, and that was really not out of
Ah,
this, because I just wanted to, because at that point in time people used to kids used to sign, they want to frame a new signature and they want to write their name the way they want, the colorful names. So and then yeah, and now if I go back, that's the only incidence, because I'm not much into writing, like using pens and paper, because we have laptops nowadays, so we don't use much of the pen and paper stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the point is, that time if I go back, then I realize, okay, yeah, manifestation really works. I never specified what kind of
yes,
doctor, but yeah, I'm a doctor now, so that's how it worked. And it was really
yeah, yeah,
unconscious. Nobody told
yes,
me. Because there's a very frequent question that teachers ask you, that what do you want to
yes.
become.
What
So
do you want
ultimately,
to do?
after a
Become?
little of research, I preferred this doctor stuff, and I was like, okay, let me just write to doctor, and then
Yeah,
so yeah, everything worked. That's very true, and I guess it's a very important, because you have been an expert in the same domain, so even the audience can actually follow, because we have already experienced this thing, and it actually happens. So yeah,
yes,
because it's actually a very profound term nowadays in the social media, manifestation,
yes,
and it really
yes.
works. So yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah.
please try.
It works, but you have to put in a lot of
Conscious,
lot of things into
positive
it, how to what to do,
effort.
how to do, and write it in clear terms and have some patience. Keep
Perfect.
some patience. Things will work.
So we'll give it a try, and I'm sure many of the audience who, after the watching the episode, they will also try and give
Definitely.
their best. Yeah, of course. So okay, so now moving to the next question. As you specified on the profile that you are a UNESCO licensed expressive art therapist. So how do you integrate the creativity in psychological healing, and then what impact have you seen so far in the clients, depending upon the emotional clarity that they actually needed when they came to you?
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to art, sometimes what happens that people share themselves. They share their stories. When they are meeting with the counselor very first time, they have a lot of things to share. Actually, they have not just this life. Sometimes they may remember the past life also, and they will share. Right. So they have a lot to share. But sometimes people come with silence. They don't know. They are confused. Then we have to give some prompts, some questions. And sometimes when they are not, even when they are these people are not speaking, we use art therapy. So what I do, I ask them to think of some incident which has happened in last 1 week. That's the first one I do. And then I ask them to draw it. And when they start drawing, they actually realize that they are going through a lot of things. The kind of stroke, starting from the picking of the colors, and the kind of strokes, the circles, the rectangles, and whatever the images they are making. I said to them, okay, you don't have to be perfect, just draw it. Sometimes they draw a box and they draw multiple box. So it shows that they are actually they are
Yes.
in the close thinking mind. They are not accepting anything. They're not sharing anything. And that's when they draw. They say, why we are drawing these boxes? And then they sometimes outside the box they have drawn the colorful flowers. So that shows the hope that yes, there is a hope. So I said, okay, there is a hope. That's why you have come here. So art shares a lot about it. And sometimes the another thing, one major thing I share. Okay, write a letter to someone who has hurt you. So for first time is like what kind? Okay, I give them the folded letter, the old kind of letter. Write the name, write the specific address, the phone number where the person lives. And hi, I want to say this. Then we don't want to write, but okay, when I give them prompt, they start writing. I also play music with that. And the moment they start writing, they keep on wanting sheets, 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, and they write a lot. And after that, after writing that, they say, we are feeling relaxed. Something has come out of us. So what was that? It was like psychology is working on the subconscious layer, subconscious mind. Conscious mind is we know that what we are doing and what we are observing, what we are feeling. So everything what is going on in the subconscious mind also affects.
Right.
And all the
So,
negative things, all the betrayals, all the hurt, all these things has to be released. Like as we eat food on everyday basis, these has to be released on everyday basis as well. So art actually gives a 3D. It's actually a 5D that it stills within you. It's still something within you that you have to write something, you have to draw something. You can't stop. If you're not talking, you're not sharing, art will give that prompt. So this is
okay.
how I combine all this.
Okay, so coming from this, as you have mentioned, that majorly when people get hurt, especially due to the first love
Yes.
and then the betrayal and all the stuff. So
Yes.
how do you suggest them to, apart from art? So how do you suggest them to relieve their stress and then move on to the next thing? Any few
Yeah.
techniques?
So when it comes to the love, only recently I have shared this one of the reel that something is I have designed that it is a peaceful closure. Instead of we talk a lot about expectations. So whenever a young crowd is coming to me and they're talking about their first love, I ask them to minimize the expectations from both ends. I would advise them to minimize the emotional dependencies. And from where those emotional dependencies are coming? Because parents' attachment style is anxious attachment style. They're not comfortable at their home, so they are looking something outside. Yes, right. And when they are hurt, working on ourselves, having a little more strength, having a little more, actually setting up boundaries in the relationship is the first step. And that gives them a lot of resilience. One client is already coming to me with this. She's in her 20s and she's not moving on. She's moving from one person to another just because to have an emotional attachment, just to have an emotional love. The
Okay.
moment I asked them, she was like broken that I can't do this. But I've convinced her in different ways.
Okay, so would you like to share your handle and your details? So if somebody wants to contact you after the video, how
Yeah.
do you contact
So
you?
so the my Instagram handle is the Rachna underscore, and my mobile number is 9868232613, and my email is rachnamindarchitect@gmail.com. So you can contact me from any place. I serve all over the across the world. I have clients from US, I have clients from Europe as well. So I'm serving all over. So you can contact me from there.
Okay, thank you for sharing your details. So, people, if you want to contact her, please. I will also try to attach the link in the bio when I'm posting the video. So, in the comment section also, we'll attach the details. So, you can please go through and you can contact her for your further questions, or you can also drop comments in the section below. So, maybe she can reply, because she can join us
Yeah.
and she can reply there also. Okay, so interesting. So, moving to the next question. So, you described that you use a approach of blending science and soul. And so, can you share what kind of look that actually helps you bring in the practice, and then how do you shape the way you actually support mental well-being? Because that's very important nowadays. It's a very recurring term coming nowadays
Yeah.
because people are actually stressed about because of a lot of reasons. So, how do you suggest them?
Yeah. So what happens that whenever there is an emotional pain, it not just affects our mind, it actually affects the body also. So that's what we call a somatic experience. The tightening in the chest, the nervousness, the heaviness, if one is having a lot of pain in shoulder, now we are saying that emotions are stored in the body as well. So we were talking about soul and science. So what happens that the soul gives the depth, understanding the nature, behavior, the inside core, the inside of the person. And science gives us logics. Science has given us frameworks. So neuroscience framework, that how neurological aspects came into being. So that comes with the medical aspect. Now next comes is the somatic experience. Is that how the body is behaving, responding, reacting after the emotional experiences. Sometimes when we are happy, let's take both the domains. When we are happy, we are in a happy mood, we sometimes go for outing, we order, we order, go for outing, we meet with friends, we are happy, the whole day spent like that, right? We create good memories. And what happens, the opposite, on the opposite vertical, that when the person is not happy, they have they came enter into, sometimes they go into isolation. They are in their bed for 3 hours without any explanations. They're not eating. They're fighting. They're not attending their calls. They're blocking people, unblocking people. This is also the digital media happening. They're liking someone. They are
Yeah.
hiding their photographs. They're unliking some other. Even if sometimes that happens, that I've noticed that people are liking and then unliking the same moment when they are upset. Why did I like this person? So this is entirely, so what is happening when you're upset, it's actually affecting your behavior. And digital media has actually adding to it, pouring in lots of informations from the people who are not expert, who do not have qualifications, is giving
Right.
them throwing them into the zone that they are actually have these kind of problems, right? And what happens with that, whenever these things happen, it actually start affecting the routines. It affects relationships, career, finances, goals, dreams, everything. Everything is disturbed. People are going to office, they are not organized. If their mornings are not organized, their day is not organized. And then they have, at the end of the day, on the Saturday or Friday evening, they have a lot of stress, they have a lot of pressure, that they have a lot of work to do, because something else is going on in the mind and it's affecting their behavior. They're not liking it, they're not feeling good, they're not putting in that much productivity. World Health Organization says that 3 people out of 4 are having mental health issues, and it's costing globally 1.76 trillion dollar because of the mental health issues. It's affecting badly. Depression is another epidemic. Last year, also in November 24th, World Health Organization declared that social isolation will be the next mental health disorder in next 3 to 4 years after pandemic, because people have started living and enjoying that. Earlier, it was like, give me some me space. Now they just want a me space. They don't want them to anyone enter into that me space. People
Right.
have started enjoying solo travels. All of a sudden, I've seen a sudden rise in the girls solo travels. Even though I also love it, but I want to have an escape from my work and family for just few days, and I'm coming back. And people have started doing it all over. Even men's and women's, they are going for solo travels, and now they are enjoying that isolation. And I mean, on their own island, they don't want them to anyone to disturb. Even a morning, even people who are not dating are not liking even the good morning text. You are actually disturbing their peace. They're not liking it. They
Right.
started enjoying their life. They
Right.
don't,
Right.
now they don't want to. So this is how the behavior is changing, and this is with that the belief system is changing. How we are going to move in the society, where as a psychologist, in last 1 year, 10 couples came, and out of that 6 were having extramarital. So I can see the rise in the extramarital affairs on, like, soon, very soon. Today, like tomorrow, I have a session. The girl of 20 years has booked a session for their parents, and saying that I'm living away from my parents because father is emotionally abusive. People want that much separation, that much me time, that they are not also enjoying the time with their families, or they are not able to manage it. Things are going differently, and now what's happening, they are seeking some peace going to spirituality, but spirituality is also going taking them back to the basics. Vedas to the basics, yoga to the basics. At least get up early in the morning and sleep, maintain your circadian rhythm. That these are the basics. Sleep at time, sleep, switch off your mobiles, maintain a detox yourself from whatever the information you are putting in. Everything is consciously, subconsciously, everything is going on in your mind. You're not detoxing, you're absorbing everything. What people are doing, okay, they're watching some video, okay, this depression has this symptom, this system, four symptoms are there, I have a depression. They are declaring I have a depression. And when I ask them,
Yeah.
how do you know? I saw this reel, I saw this video. And then they are jumping to the conclusions that we have these mental disorders. I have ADHD. My son, one parent came, my son has ADHD. How do you know? I saw this video.
Right. Yeah, so I would agree. I would say actually because this is the providing overly information on the social media, and sometimes because
Yes,
people social media basically sometimes people are trying to post their reels and their videos because they want to earn some money, and because
yes,
what will they post now? That's the basic idea. Even I was actually today in the morning I was telling my mom also the same thing. Don't look at those horoscopes every now and then. It's okay for some point in time to follow it, but rigorously
yeah,
blindly following somebody because they actually want to post video, they have an option to, like, they want to take a reason to post a video. So you can't be following
yes,
them blindly and then say, okay, something is going to happen on 28th because it's mentioned in the reel. You can't go like that. So okay,
yes. And then they're
so
not thinking, and no, and because they're not sharing it with anyone, no one there is no one to stop them.
there's nobody to stop them. Yeah, so it's very important to, so actually, you know why even I started this kind of podcast, because though because I'm also into academy, I was into teaching, I'm into a professorship. So I thought maybe we should actually, because we've seen a lot of entertainment reels happening outside, entertainment
Yes,
comedy also at times happen outside on the social media. So a responsible take on the social media is very important. That's one of the reasons I want to bring some, real life expertise on the channel, so at least they can express, they can, guide them, provide awareness,
yes,
because this session, this video, this talk is very important. People should know they are doing wrong, and if there's nobody to support them, so on the social media also there should be a platform which should guide them with what is right, with what is
yes,
wrong. So it's very important
yes,
for these kind of conversations to happen, and if you see major times, you won't see much people looking at it also, because if you talk something sensible, people don't get, they don't entertain themselves, so that they don't even look at what is happening. So that's the issue. The academia, education, important conversations are not even getting heat from people, which is very
yeah,
important, because otherwise if you look at the social media towards entertainment, they might also misguide you, and then maybe there's nobody else to support you in that direction. So what is important is to, talk sensibly, talk the right thing, post the right thing, so at least the right guidance is given to the
yes,
audience. It's a very responsible role that social media influencers have to handle. So yeah, and then okay, one question was that you have been talking about mindfulness and then stress and how to have a work-life balance. So yesterday we had this yoga day, International Yoga Day, right? So how do you think yoga and exercises can actually help somebody relieve from stress? Does it actually help, or somebody who has have an
yes,
hard
yes,
life
yes.
can
It
take this
it
kind of?
does it does help. Yes, it does help. Whenever clients come to us, we ask them to start with a 10 minutes of exercises, whatever is their interest. It's walking, if even if they have multiple excuses not to do. And I give them 100 uh,
Reasons to do.
solutions that how they can do it. Even if they're room, I ask them to, okay, take five, can you take start with 5 rounds? And from 5 rounds, they have created and inculcated an interest. Because the one thing is that there is a Japanese technique, Zen technique. You actually start with one simple small step, and that can be converted into a habit. So yes, definitely physical mind body coordination is important, and for that physical exercise definitely helps in relieving stress, for sure. But you have to do it on a
Regular.
daily basis. You start with 5 minutes and increase it. I always say, okay, can you start with 1 minute? So for 1 minute they are completely okay, and they themselves say that yes, every and I ask them, The second step is okay, can you increase it 1 minute every day? So on 30th day, they are with 30 minutes. And the change started happening. And then they after sometimes they call up, okay, we are doing it every day. So this
Because
is
I've
how
read,
habits are
yeah,
built.
in the research nowadays, it has been proven that if you even if you have too much of anger and if you exercise, it relieves your stress and it will reduce the level of anger that you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And what happens in that process is actually channelizing of energies. Each person has an amount of energies building up in themselves. So either it can be shown up in the anger, in some productive work, or if these two things are not there, right? So you can channelize it into any activity. And for the walking also, there are 100 types of walking. If you're taking, and in
fast
in military
walking, brisk
training,
walking, many are there. Yeah.
yeah, and also if you're taking a circular round, people see that they generally take a circular round. I think, okay, if you're taking a two circular rounds, take two anti-circular rounds as well. What
Right.
happens when you're
Right,
taking
right,
the
right.
circular round,
Same thing goes
rights on the
on.
right side, it's actually helping you in balancing your mind body coordination on the left side,
Right,
right?
right,
And
right.
when we are taking and the reverse round, it helps the other way. So balance is right. When mind has two sides, right, left side and right
It
side,
should be
body
balanced.
has two sides, so actually balance it both ways.
Okay, that's very
And
interesting. I'm sorry for the abrupt questions, but I guess people should know because I'm sure many of them might have this curiosity
no,
or
no,
these
that
kind of
these
questions.
are
So,
very, very smart, very good questions,
so
smart
at
questions,
least
and you're
I just
doing great
want
job,
because
Arti.
whatever I've seen online and whatever I know personally, I've already read in the research and not in just one, but many. But the idea is because this is a platform that people should see and they should understand, so maybe it can answer their query. So yeah, okay.
Yes,
So moving to the next question. Of course, I'm really enjoying the talk, and I want to continue it more further. But I know because you have a very busy schedule, so we don't want to keep you lingering. So yeah, the next question is that what is mindfulness for you? And it is powerful tool actually, and in today's especially in today's fast moving environment and fast paced world. So how do you guide individuals who struggle with the overthinking and staying present to begin reconnecting with their inner rhythm? Uh, and that we have been talking about so
right.
far in the previous questions also.
Yeah. So my mindfulness is basically bringing anyone in the present moment. Right. So bringing anyone in the present moment is one can start with the four, four technique, which is called the box breathing, with the 4 steps, with the 4 seconds inhale, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale. This is one thing one can do. The second thing is that you observe five on five, four, three, two, one, like 5 things you can see. Just speak out. 4 things you can touch wherever you are sitting, right? 3 things you can actually observe, right? And two favorite things which you like in eating. Think about that. And one thing, any fragrance, right? Another thing, if people are sitting in the office and they want there's a lot of chaos and they're facing a lot of things. Look at the clock for 1 minute. Observe the color, the size, what size of what color is there, which brand is there, what is the color of the wall. Within a minute, you're back in the present moment.
Okay, and I guess even that will also help to increase their focus, attention, right? To
Yes,
regain
yes.
themselves.
And like for example, I've kept this on my table. I have this another thing on my table. So whenever you can keep some things on your table. This is something related to manifestation also, that live your dreams. So I believe in this thing, and since it's been 5 6 years I bought this, and whenever I hold it, I feel good, and immediately it bring me back into the moment that yes, I'm here, I'm present. And so mindfulness are these. So you can keep few things with
And
which
you can
you
focus
can
and you can
relate
read
to you.
also. So you can keep on reading. So at
Yes,
least again your mind also remembers the same thing. It's almost
yes.
like
And something which what you want to achieve, what are your future goals, or anything you are missing in your life. If you want to live your life, like, it's a very simple thing. Live your dreams, simple. So it is going to motivate you, it is going to elevate you. And affirmations, manifestations, and all these things start with when you have a feeling of gratitude that yes, you have something. If you start with the feeling of emptiness, nothing is going to happen. So, and in our Indian culture, we used to have food with our hands. Nowadays we use spoon and forks. Eating food with our hand is pure mindfulness, because there the five senses are involved. You're watching, you are touching, you are eating, right? The fragrance, you are having a fragrance. Even if you have a different kind of tadka, jeera tadka and all that tadka, immediately the fragrance comes in. Even if you take out one chapati, the fragrance of chapati is also there. So the involvement of five senses in any activity
It's very
in
important.
1 to 5 minutes, it can bring you. So wherever you are, just eat. What's happening in the yoga sessions and all these, if they are doing the retreats and all this, they are bringing taking people back to these things.
Right. So yeah, because I've seen many of the foreigners going to retreat centers, and this is what they're doing. There's no
Yes,
phones, there's nothing, there's
yes.
yoga and there's therapies, spa is there, and sitting on the ground and eating,
you
because
know
we have this culture in South India, sitting on the ground
yeah.
eating on the leaves, and that's
Yeah.
something
So it,
different.
it helps in mindfulness, also includes the grounding activities. So if you're sitting on the ground, it helps in connecting with the earth, in the mother nature. So
Yes.
it helps in the grounding as well. So in mindfulness activities, sometimes we advise people to touch their feet, remove their shoes and everything, and touch the feet with the earth only, and see how you are feeling, and let it go, let it flow, let your tensions release. Close your eyes, imagine that it's going away.
Yeah, and even it's
So
a kind of
whatever
exercise.
kind of,
Sitting on the
yeah,
food is kind of exercise for your body also.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah,
yeah.
there are many benefits. Wow, interesting, very interesting. Okay, so last but not the least, the question that we want to ask you is about the leadership that you have had so far. So the leadership often brings from within, the way you have been guiding us
Yes.
also. So how do you define the inner leadership and why it is so essential for navigating personal and professional stress, which is very important nowadays to understand?
Let First of all, let's decode that who is a leader. A leader is not a one who shows up some authority, or who has a lot of money or position. A leader is one who knows their emotional landscape. One thing, they are good decision makers, and they can not just lead, but actually can inspire people. And the person who has done work on themselves can actually inspire, right? So inner leadership is something that you are able to navigate through your problems and challenges. If you see that the one door is closing, you have the courage to open to the another door, or you have the courage to find some other door as well. And in this entire process, you are able to inspire. Even if you can inspire five people in your life, that is working for you. That is working for you. And in this way, every day each person has many decisions to take, starting from where the child will be admitted, how the money will be invested, how much amount we want, right? Even if we are going to a restaurant, what we will order. That is one thing I observe, that people who can order quickly are actually good decision makers and are the leaders. And those who keep on lingering what to do, what to order, they are actually delayers. So they have to work a lot on that. We, as a psychologist, we do a lot of observations, so this works. So when we are taking each and every decision, we are evaluating different alternatives, we are taking good decisions every day, we are actually becoming more leaders in our personal space. And when we are able to take everyday decisions judicially, we can take those decisions in the professional domain as well, at whichever level you are working. The work is, and if you're in an organization, the work is not that you are going there for your individual goals. You have to combine the individual goals with the organizational goals.
That's what
So
also.
if you have done a little work on yourself, you can actually see that this is not I'm doing for something or for the organization. Through these fulfillment, my individual needs and goals are also met. And
That's
that's
very
where
true.
the emotional resilience and emotional intelligence comes in. That if you work on your inner scape, if you rewrite your stories, if you had some old belief systems which are not working for you right now, the beauty of the subconscious mind is that you can train and retrain wherever you are in wherever situation, wherever age group you are, you can retrain it in your 20s, in your 30s, 40s, 50s, even in 70s. The beauty is
Right.
that you can always reframe it. So something is not working. That I used to have the belief system that the more qualifications you had, the more money you can build. But
That's not
it's not
true.
working that way.
Not
That's not
working.
true. So if the moment I realized that that was the old belief system, so I started working on the skill set also. I used to had fight with my son, but now I'm convinced that yes, it was not working. So everyone has some old belief systems. Understand it,
Right.
work on it, and reframe it. That what will work in today's scenario, in your circumstances, and strengthen it with affirmations, with manifestations, and things will go in your favor. So this is how inner landscape combined with the outer world as well. I don't know what mental health is. It starts with, like, I want to decode the mental health. What mental health, that what you are thinking, how you are thinking. That's the first aspect, and then it affects your emotions. You're feeling sad, angry, annoyed, and then it affects your behavior. And then the fourth step is that it affects your your interaction with the external
People,
world, with the
right.
society.
Right.
So this is the four aspects of mental health. So what you are thinking, how you are thinking is the key, and we work on that. So different all the activities, whether it is CBT, we have 7 to 8 psychological traditional counseling activities, or 4 domains of expressive art. Everything works on that. That what you are thinking, how you are thinking.
Right. Okay, so very interesting conversation, and I'm sure I've learned, or rather, I would say I have clarified a lot of things that I already have read somewhere. So thank you for your time and for your insightful conversation. The last thing that is on the table is, because you told us you have a skill of scanning. So if you could just tell us whether it is positive, negative, everything is most welcome. So tell me something about myself.
So see, you are very passionate, you are very committed, and I see that you have started this thing for something you have, that you want to actually help people, right? And you may be having some belief systems which are not working for you. We may be having some kind of, and I believe that you are very committed in your work. You have a lot of passion to move forward in your life, and you want to inspire women.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty amazing and relatable, of course. So you actually can read the mind, of course. Yeah. So okay. So thank you for your warm words and for this insightful conversation. I hope the audience can learn something from it. They would benefit.
Yeah,
Thank you for your time and for the wisdom that you have shared with us. And we know our listeners will actually carry a lot of information and knowledge and now from this episode when they watch it. So I would tell them, keep learning, keep understanding, keep reading these things, and do not trust on social media. Everything on the social media is not okay. So whenever you look at
yeah,
something in the social media, please try to verify that, and there has to be
yes,
something which can actually guide you. So there are a lot of documentaries, a lot of podcasts happening. So just look at them, because that's where even I've started. Because when you're working on something, you can't just sit, and then come on the podcast directly. You have a lot of research and idea and understand what is happening around. Look at the podcast. People come
yes,
and share their experiences the way we are doing now. So that's one point where you realize a lot of the doubts can be clarified. A lot of better
yes,
information can be given rather than just relying on the social media and the reels, because that can also be somebody's bread and butter, like a way of earning. So whatever they are posting is not always true. So do not rely on
yes,
that
yes.
information. Any last statement you would like to say to our audience, like last guidance?
Yeah. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you are restarting, rediscovering, or wherever you are, you always have this, that you can reset your rhythm and rewrite your story.
Wow, that's a very short, crisp, but comprehensive and very impactful statement. Okay, so we would thank you once again to be on the channel. We are really inspired, and thank you for reflecting on all
Thank
this
you for the
information
invite,
in such
Adi, and I love that conversation. I love that, and keep doing the good work, great work you're doing.
Thank you for finding out time and being on the show. I really loved it, and we could expect more from you because you have a lot of information, and I hope socially we could
Yes,
benefit
sure,
from you
sure,
on the channel. So
sure.
it's good to have you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so this was with us today on the episode. I hope you liked it because I personally enjoyed the session. It's really enlightening and reflecting on very important concerns nowadays people are facing in life. So I hope these kind of sessions, if done more, can actually provide a lot of information to people around for their enlightenment. So this guest is basically called a mind architect who carves your mind and your mindset and talks about mindfulness. Especially, she has been guiding a lot of people, and she has carved powerful niche in guiding individuals, especially high functioning professionals, women, young adults, towards the emotional clarity, balance, and resilience. So, with a unique blend of science and soul, and as a UNESCO licensed expressive art therapist, she harnesses mindfulness and creativity to unlock the deeper layers of personal growth. So get ready for an insightful conversation that promises illumination of your inner layers of transformation, giving you a path of inner transformation. And talking about mindset is very crucial nowadays. I have been talking about that in the podcast also, that we should focus on these parameters, talking about well-being, wellness. And today the world, requires some togetherness, some unity, and some support. So everybody is personally directed towards impacting individual, giving them the right approach, addressing the challenges they are facing nowadays in life, so that everybody could learn and achieve success. So I would end this podcast on this note today. I hope everybody likes the conversation and they enjoy and they take home something from today's insightful conversation. And for very interesting episodes coming the next week, stay tuned. So for more insightful conversations and interesting podcast and to look at the different guests from different domains and walks of life, stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. I hope you like the conversation and thank you for all the love and support I have been getting through so far in the journey of this podcast. Let me know in case you want to hear something else from us or anybody else who wants to join. Just let me know in the comment section below. Or you can also contact me on Instagram and YouTube. Both are the platforms we have been using. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day. And I wish you all the very best in your life journey. Whatever you have been doing so far, manifest and achieve what you want to achieve. So you'll see me next time. Same host, same time, same place, same channel, but with a new and fresh face, a new expertise. Until then, I wish you all the best. Have a good day. Enjoy. Take care. Be a little conscious when you look at social media. I don't want to offend anybody. I would apologize for anybody who might get offended. There's no intention of offending anybody, but the only thing is to provide a right guidance. That's the reason behind a social cause. So everybody should be together. We should have unity to take everybody together in the right way so they learn and they benefit and they grow and they develop themselves. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time, same time. Up till then, I'm signing off. Take care. Have a good day.